welcome to Playing for Second. I am Brian, and today I'm going to continue on with my 20 by 6 for 2026 solo challenge with game number 3, Imperium Horizons, slash Legends slash Classics. But today I think everything is actually from Imperium Horizons. So go ahead and join me at the table and I'll go through what we got going on. Okay, we are set up. As I mentioned, this is Imperium Horizons, and the main difference with Horizons versus Legends and Classics is Horizons came with the trade routes expansion module. I'm not really sure what you call it, but we actually ended up getting one out here, one of the trade routes. So it changes setup a little bit. You do get an extra exhaust marker from that. So I'm going to get 6 exhaust tokens instead of 5. You also, basically, the bot that you're going up against is going to have an extra action at the end of all their turns so that they can do their merchant phase, I believe is what it's called. But basically, so that they can do the trade routes. So, all right, I'm going to grab my 3 action tokens and my 6 exhaust tokens, which I will most likely forget to use several times during this playthrough. I decided to go ahead and grab a couple factions from Horizons. So the bot I am going up against is the Japanese, and I am going to play the Guptas on their B side. So with their B side, well, both sides, it has a passive. When you would normally place a victory marker on the market, you instead place a good marker on the market. Speaking of which, I forgot to do that for setup. And then at the end of the game, they get 3 victory points per trade route that I get. So I want to get at least 4 so I can maximize that card at its 10 points. Also with Horizons, if you're not familiar with it, as opposed to the other two, instead of a victory point, you do start with a goods marker, which I thought was like an alien marker the whole time. I was looking at it this way, and it's like a bright green. I'm like, yeah, it's totally an alien. And then when you look at it this way, I guess it's just a bright green pot or a vase. I don't know. It's not important. That's a fun little anecdote and a peek inside my brain. So again, going up against the Japanese, I think we are, for the most part, ready to start here. I am using the... Okay, I thought so. I forgot to add the unrest here. I am using this little player... These things, I don't know. I don't feel that they're necessary, but they do kind of help. Okay, these guys didn't have any extra unrest. Just double checking. Okay, so let's get after it. And my usual disclaimer, whenever I do a solo game or any game for that matter, I'm not good at the game. Don't tune in for strategic tips. I'm just trying to have some fun and trying to play some of the solo games that I have. And I bought specifically because you can solo it, and then I just never do. So that's the whole point of this 20 by 6 this year. All right, so I let myself a decent amount of room here for cards that I can play. It can get out of hand. I don't know if I've played the Guptas before, so I'm not even sure how much they're going to have going on. And then with the Japanese cards, I'm going to try to keep those right here on the table and keep mine kind of over here. So that's just, again, trying to take advantage of the area that I have here. All right, so on your turn, you get 3 actions, and we're going to go ahead and bring out. I'm going to kind of, we'll start down here. All right, so this is a city here that does have a solstice. I'm not using the solstice marker. I know that basically it happens at the beginning of every other turn that I have here, or at the end of their turn, effectively. We're then going to go ahead and bring out, oh, see, I already forgot, but technically that was an action, and this is an action. I can gain 2 of those, I believe they're materials markers, tokens. There we go. And I may garrison a card. I'm not gonna. That is something that I think I underutilize. I very rarely garrison cards. And I mean, leave a comment in the comment section. When are you supposed to garrison a card? When, I mean, in my mind, it's when you don't really need it anymore, or if you can't use it for a while. And then when you use your glory card or some other card that's going to bring these back, you can bring it back into your hand. But for me, if I can find a way to try to get things into the history and I can't use them anymore, I'm throwing it in the history. And Then with cards like this, you can discard a card to choose. So any card that I can't play yet, I'll keep in my deck so that it's a good card for discarding. But I don't know. Like I said, not great at the game, not pretending to be great at the game. Okay, let's see here. I think we're going to conquer, which is our last action. So we can pay 2 population. I believe that's what those markers are called to acquire either a land card or whatever the blue cards are called. And for the life of me, I can't remember it. I think we're just going to go, we're going to pay the 2. Excuse me. And we're just going to get a land. That goes to your hand whenever you acquire a card or break through for a card, which are 2 words that mean 95% the same thing. Acquire and break through, that's how you get cards. If you break through for a card, you don't have to take the unrest that is on the bottom of most of these. The lands don't get unrest cards. Okay, those were 3 actions, and we are going to use our merchant. You know what? I don't think I grabbed merchant cards. Okay, I grabbed the merchant's cards, 1 for me, and then 1 for the bot. And really all it's doing for the bot is letting me know what side they're on, merchants or merchant empire. So there is an exhaust that you can use on the merchant, which I'm going to. You can either acquire a trade route, which is what I'm going to do, or you can trade. You can pay 3 goods to flip this card, which is how I get to the merchant empire side. But I'm going to acquire the trade route and exile a card from the market. So we're going to acquire this one. Again, goes right to my hand, but I also have to take the unrest. Now, if it said breakthrough, this would have gone back over here. And then let's go ahead and get rid of this for our exile. All right, and the volcano comes out and the Acadians come out. Cool. Okay. Let's see here. That's my turn. So we are going to add 1 victory point to a card in the market. But again, my ability or my passive basically says you're not doing that. You're adding a goods token instead. Oh boy. Let's just add it onto this scrubland. Okay. And then we are going to clear our action tokens, and we are going to clear our exhaust tokens. And then we can discard. I definitely don't need prosperity yet. I'm tempted to keep these unrest in my hand to see. I don't even know if I have another unrest in there. Really should have looked at this deck more. I think I do. So I'm going to discard these 2. And if I get my 3rd unrest in here, I might just take a, what's that called? A revolt action to get rid of the unrest. The conquer will get discarded. These cards stay out. You know that because it has the little infinity symbol on them, whereas this one does not. So yeah, that's how you know they stay out. So go ahead and draw 1, 2. Hey, I got an unrest. So I don't know, getting rid of 3 of those seems like a good idea. It's kind of early, but get them out of my hand. Okay, now for the bot. If you've not played with the bot before, these are their cards. That's what these are out here, and they are numbered 1 to 5. Gonna roll d6. On a 6, you play all of the cards. On any other number, that's the 1 card you don't play. And then this here is going to tell me what the bot does on their turn. So that's fine. Of course, we started with a 6, so we're just going to go 1 to 5 and play them all. So here we have Appeal to China. So you look on this card, and you're going to go down until you hit something that it is. So for instance, with this one, it is one of those cards, permanent cards that stay on. It just says, resolve the top card of the bot deck, put this into history. So this is going to go away. I'm just going to put that. I'm not sure if that's still on camera. It doesn't need to be. And then we are going to resolve the top card, which is Advance. And it says, spend 4 resources to break through for a card, which we can't. If unable, acquire a uncivilized card. If still unable, they're not. So they can acquire this card. But again, acquire means they get both, and then these go right on top of their draw deck, and that gets discarded. Just going to get replaced right away. Okay. All right, and then Shinto, which I think is going to be the exact same thing. Resolve the top card of the bot deck, put this into history. Yikes, they're already getting rid of an awful lot. So their top card is an unrest card. It just goes back. Glory, abandon 3 terrain cards. They might not be called terrain cards, but I'm probably going to call them terrain cards. To get the top fame card, if unable, breakthrough for a terrain card. So it is going to get discarded. Now, when they're breaking through, for normal cards, they're going to look to see which one's worth the most points. So Volcano is worth 3 victory points if in play. For the bot, that's just going to be 3 victory points. So they are going to break through for that. All right, they're taking a lot of unrest out of there. So yeah, I think I am going to just be, hey, they're going to put one back. All right, Prince Shotoku. All right, so this here is spend 2 population to discard the top card of the Dynasty deck. If unable, gain a population. I am playing just the medium difficulty, the middle of the 5, so they do not start with any tokens. So that'll be their first token. Okay, now they're going to do their merchants action. So for that, you need the back of the Horizons rulebook. So the first thing they're going to do is they're going to acquire if able. There are none out there to acquire, so they can't. They're going to pay 5 goods to gain a fame card. They can't. They're going to resolve any profits. They can't. Then they're going to trade if able, which would mean they are going to basically use someone else's trade route, or they're just going to convert a victory point into a trade good. They can't do any of that. So for me, that's a relatively good first turn for them when they can't do that. All right. Then when they are done, normally whatever the die result is, that's where they put their victory point. Because at the end of everybody's turn, you put a victory point token out. But on a 6, there is no 6, so you do not put one out. And we're going to go ahead and just grab the next 5 of their cards. They have 1 left, and then whenever they run out, you just grab cards from the top of their development deck. This is their, or I guess their nations deck and their development deck. It's all just stacked in one, because they're going to get those for doing nothing. All right, it is our turn, but in between their turn and our turn, there's technically a solstice token off to the side of the table. It's a solstice turn, which what that means is you look at all your cards that say solstice. So this one says discard a card to choose, draw a card, gain a resource, or pay 2 resources to gain a trade good. So I am going to go ahead and discard a card. I'm going to discard that, and I'm going to gain a resource. Whenever I gain a resource, you're going to see my arm go to the right, and that's because normally when I play, they're to the right. But for some reason today, like an idiot, I put them to the left. And then on my turn, I am just going to do a revolt action. So I'm going to take these 3 unrest, and I'm going to get them out of my hand / out of my deck, and I'm going to put them over there. Cleanup phase, I do still have to add a trade good, and we're going to go Scrubland again, I think. And then hope that I can get Scrubland. That's something that kind of goes over my head too. I'm not really sure where to put things. I kind of just put them on something that I hope to get later, and then ultimately the bot takes it because they're jerks. Okay, and then I don't have any exhaust tokens. I don't have any action tokens. I can discard it down if I want to, but we are going to keep advance. So when we go to draw to 5, I've only got 2. So I draw 2, and then we are going to take a card from our nation deck from the top here. It is going to go into our discard pile, and then that nation deck gets exhausted, and then these are going to shuffle and be get the other 2 cards that I need. So that is basically how you're developing your nation. And once you're through this deck, that's when you can actually, you basically become an empire, civilized empire, and you're then going to be able to develop those cards and actually choose which ones. You have to pay for them, but you can choose which ones you want, as opposed to all these were shuffled. And then there's a card on the bottom here. You're supposed to put it sideways. I always just leave it face up. That card determines, once you add that card to your deck, that tells you, hey, you're officially an empire. They have one as well. And when they switch to empire, I will switch their bot card over because it's the empire bot card. All right, so I need 2 more. Cool. All right, that was me. 3. So we put this on the 3 card and we just start left to right. Okay, we've got a, I'm going to keep calling it terrain. I'm not sure if it is terrain. I really should have looked that up. Region. It's a region. I see something that says region. And the blue ones are tributaries. Haha, we figured it out. Go team. All right, so I'm going to play this, exile a card from the market, and then they're going to gain a resource. So for their played cards, I'm just going to kind of tuck them here. They don't do anything else with the card in terms of what it says. They just do what is on the bot card. When they go to exile something, nothing can be exiled that has a token on it. So they just exile left to right unless they can't, which the only way they would not be able to exile. By the way, that's what this pile is up there, exiled cards. All right, have the Metropolis that comes in. And the Unrest cards, I'm just keeping there because, again, the Unrest goes under every card except regions. So, and then they get a resource. Cool. 2, they got themselves a Golden Mass. That's right, this is the one they got last turn. All right, it is none of those things. So other, acquire a tributary. Okay, so that's this right here. They're going to get those. If unable, they were able. And then it says, you may draw a card in bold, which does refer to me. So I will just take a card and add it to my hand. Okay. Unrest, which will go back. Actually, I'll just grab that because it's going to go under the tributary. And Kyushu, another region card. So again, they're going to play this, they're going to exile, and they're going to get a resource. So I'm just going to play it on top, kind of like that, so I know how many are there. They're looking to get 3 so they can get a Fame card. That's really all the bot's doing at this point. They're going to exile that Metropolis that just came in, which is unfortunate. I kind of wanted the Metropolis. Okay. And then for their merchant turn, there's still nothing they can do. There's none to get. There's none to use. They don't have any victory point markers to be able to trade any. So their victory point token is going to go on 3. And this slides to the left. And then we're just going to add, they only have 3 left. We need 1 more. So we take their discard, we take these guys, and we shovel it in. The bot runs relatively smoothly once you've done it a few times. It had been a while. I started playing this one last week to try it, for my 20x6. This is my 6th play, so I wanted to make sure I played it a few times so that I could remember how the bot works. And I had to look a few things up because some of the wording on everything is a little weird, in my opinion. Okay, Solstice Phase. I can discard a card. Oh boy. I don't really want to put out this trade route because then, oh no, they can't use it. They don't have any trade goods. I don't super need it yet though. So I'm going to go ahead and discard my trade route. And then I am going to, let's go ahead and just get another resource for now. I don't need cards yet right now because I have some good ones to play. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we are going to play Sri Gupta. I will be butchering names, by the way. Sorry. Sri Gupta, which says each other player may draw a card. When the bot can draw a card, they do, and all that means is they just discard the top card from their draw deck. You can break through for a trade route and then put this card into history. So breakthrough, when there's not one out here, you just go through this deck until you find one, which was not in the handful I just grabbed. Here we go, the Cornwall Tin Road. So that's going to go to my hand, and then I will shuffle all these. And then this is going to go into my history, which basically removes it from my deck, is all that's doing. Which is fine, because, well, it's a one-time use. So, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be one-time use if I didn't put it in my history, but it is. Endgame triggers, by the way, I did not mention that. I'm going to leave this action marker here, but I'm going to throw this underneath my power card here. Which is my history. But this is out here, so I know that I took that action. Endgame triggers are everyone or someone buys their last or gets their last development, or this deck up here runs out, or if all the unrest go away, we lose. Doesn't even matter if the bot could have all of these, and maybe I have one of these. Oh, there's my merchant card. That's fun. The bot could have all of them, and I just draw the last one, or I don't even have to draw the last one, and then you lose if at any point the unrest is gone. Okay. Let's see. I can't do that. I can't do that. So let's go ahead and advance. So we can pay 3 to acquire either an uncivilized or a civilized. Uncivilized being the green banner, civilized being the white banner. Or we can pay 5 to break through so that we don't have to take unrest. Now the banners you'll see on the side here, these red ones, you can only play that card when you're in the barbarian state. And the blue ones, you can only play it when you're in the Empire state. I'm a ways off from being in the Empire. So I do like Mercenaries, but I can't play Mercenaries for a while. It is worth points, though. All right, we are going to pay 5 so that we don't have unrest. We just spent an entire turn getting rid of all of our unrest. And we are going to break through for Mercenaries. We'll get those 2, and we'll get this to our hand. And then that's going to get replaced. That was our second action. Okay. And then... well, we can't play it. Don't really want to do that. So we are just going to do another region. Distant island. Well, that's going to get us a population. I'm pretty sure that's what the blue ones are called. Exile a card from the market, then exile another card from the market. So I'm going to exile moneylenders. Warehouse. Okay. I'm trying to exile cards that they might potentially get that are worth a lot of points for them. Let's go ahead and exile altar. Okay, those are our 3 actions. Do we have anything any exhaust actions here? Let's do our merchants. We're going to exhaust merchants, and we're going to go ahead and turn this victory point into a trade good. Okay, and then at the end of our turn, we are going to put a trade good out on... let's go Oracle. Okay. And then I'll go ahead, discard advance, pick up our actions and exhaust tokens, and then our draw deck has 3 cards in it. And I want to be able to get one of these again, which means I need to discard cards. Well, I definitely want to discard Mercenaries because I can't play it. I'm going to discard that. And we'll discard that. So I need to draw 4. There are only 3. Sad panda. So we're going to grab one of these, throw it in there, exhaust that. Okay. This is one of those games I never know how I'm doing, really. At least, I don't think I know it well enough. You're trying to score points, but at the same time, you're really just trying to get an engine and you're trying to get combos to work correctly. Let's see. Okay. So here's what we got for our next turn. Cool. Their turn. 3. All right, clans. Go ahead and grab this. That's going to be this guy here, I think. Yeah. Spend 2 population to discard the top card of the Dynasty deck. If unable, gain a population. So they only have 1, so they will gain a second. This merchant card is confusing me. I'm just going to put it. That's going to, yeah, put it there for now. Okay, unrest. So they simply put that back. All right, this is another land. So they are going to play it. They are going to exile a card from the market. So left to right. And then they are going to get a resource. I think they're called resources. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what anything's called. All right, this is the prince again. So they're okay. They do have it now. So he's got this. So they're going to spend these 2 to discard the top card of their dynasty deck. Yikes! So this is their dynasty deck. Well, it's an unrest, which is, I guess, good for us. But Again, if that empties, or if both of mine here empty, mine's 2 piles, there's 1. That's one of the end game triggers. You then finish that round and play 1 more. Okay, that is that. Cool. All right, for their merchants, there is nothing they can do because there is none to acquire. They don't have anything to do here. So they're just going to throw this there. That's going to slide to the left. And they're going to get another card from here because they need 1 out there. It always feels like I'm losing, especially early on. And not that I normally win this game. A couple of the games I played this week, the unrest ran out because I kept playing a push your luck game with it, and I'm not great at push your luck games. I keep pushing your luck until I lose. That's pretty much how I play push your luck games. Okay, so Solstice, I'm going to discard a card. You know what? I kind of want Oracle, so I might keep this because it can get me Oracle. Let's discard. For now, Prosperity. Okay. For our first action, we are going to bring out this river valley. That's going to get us a population. Cool. Then we are going to bring out this rock cut architecture. It has an exhaust. When you acquire or break through for a civilized or uncivilized card, exhaust this card and discard a card to get a trade good. And then I'm going to conquer for my last action, spending these 2. I could spend, the victory point tokens can be spent as 1 population or 2 resources. Again, I'm not 100% sure those are called resources, but I'm going to call them resources. So I could spend that and break through so I don't get an unrest. I'm going to. Why not? So 3 population, and I'm going to break through for Oracle. So that goes to my hand. This goes into my pool, and then I'm going to exhaust this card. Oh, this card. And discard a card. Might as well discard this one. And that's going to get me another trade good. Cool. Oh, I'm going to bring on a new card here. I don't think I have any more exhausts that I want to do. I can't do anything with my merchants either. I can't trade. I can't acquire 1. Yeah, so how many cards do I have in my draw deck? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5. So I am going to discard this. We're going to go ahead, get our actions back, get our exhaust tokens back, discard this. These now don't do anything while they're out here, so I am just going to stack mine like I'm stacking theirs. For me, though, I do want to be able to see the symbols, so I'm just going to kind of do it like that. Just to kind of conserve on space, because again, it can get out of hand. And then at the end of my turn, I have to put a trade good on something. I'm going to triple down on Scrublands and really hope that I can get that next turn. So I'm going to draw 5 cards. This is empty, but I don't need to draw another one at this point, so I can't add 1 and do that whole thing. However, during the Solstice phase, I plan on drawing a card so that I can do that. Okay, that is us. 4, so let's see here. I think this is going to be an other. Sure is. So other, acquire a, what did I call them? Tributary, I think. And then, oh, I may draw a card. Well, isn't that nice? I will draw a card, but I can't. So we'll do this, which does throw an exhaust token on it. Okay, and we'll draw a card. Cool. Replace that with Undecipherable Scroll. All right, they have a golden mask here, which I think is going to be another other card. Yeah, so they're going to acquire a tributary. They can't, there aren't any. If unable, discard the top card of the bot deck and gain 2 resources and a population. Man, that's a good action for them, and they're getting it a lot. But again, I may draw a card. So I will, because why not? Okay, 3. Advance. Spend 4 resources, which they can, to break through for a civilized. Okay. So there's 2 civilized available. They go after whichever one is worth more points. So this is worth 2 points, 3 points, but this one's worth 5. And I believe I said breakthrough, right? Yep, they're going to break through, so they just take the card, not the unrest card. And then the unrest does go back because that is a region. Okay. Kanji. Resolve the top card of the bot deck. Put this card in the history. Okay. The bot deck is the market stalls that they just drew, which I think they're just going to immediately put into history. And yeah, resolve the top card of the bot deck. Put this card into history. Unrest will go back. They still don't have anything they can do on their merchant's turn. They are going to put a victory point marker right there. They're doing a good job of getting the cards out of their deck. I, on the other hand, am also playing. All right, during the solstice phase, I no longer need to draw that card, so let's see. Well, I might as well discard Mercenaries. I can't play it. And then, do we still just draw the card for fun? No. I think instead we will get a resource. A pink thing. Probably called resources. Couldn't tell you. Okay. Abandon, discard card. Man, I've got a lot of solstice. I have 2 cards in my hand that are nice, but during the solstice phase, I have to discard a card, which is not nice. Do I want hunters and trackers, undecipherable code? Yeah, I kind of want undecipherable code. All right, so we're going to play prosperity for our first action. And let's see, which one do I need? I need the resources. So I'm going to gain 1 resource for every bag symbol, I think, of which I have 3. Instead of grabbing those 3, I'm going to then play advance and spend 5. So the 3 I would have gotten plus these 2, and I'm going to break through for undecipherable scroll. And then I'm going to play undecipherable scroll, which allows me to break through for basically whatever I want and gain a victory point. So let's gain the victory point, and I think we're going to go ahead and we put 3 on here for the purposes of getting this. So we're going to break through just for this. Kind of a waste of the breakthrough, but whatever. All right. Whoops, when you acquire or break through for an uncivilized, which I did, I'm going to exhaust this, discard a card to get a trade good. And we'll discard that one. And then let's go ahead and exhaust our... No, I'm not going to exhaust merchants. Yeah. And then I'm going to discard all of those. Oops. This was their card, I believe. Which was an other. So yeah, it should just be over there. Cool. All right. Do that. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. This gets exiled after use. This goes back. This goes back. All right. Need to draw 5. I've only got 3. So we're going to add 1 here and shuffle up. Okay. I don't know, again, how it's going. Couldn't tell you. Not great, I don't think, but oh well. All right, draw 2 more. And then I got to put a trade good out, and we'll roll for them. I think we're going to put the trade good on that one. Okay, they rolled a 1, so we'll start with 2. This is going to be another other, I think. Yeah, which is acquire a tributary. All right, got another region out there. Unrest, which just goes back. Clans, they can spend 2 population to discard the top card of the Dynasty deck. They can't, so they get a population. Mano Reservoir, which looks just to be this. Resolve the top card of the bot deck, put this into history. Okay. Bot deck is unrest, so it just goes back. Cool. During their merchant phase, there's no trade route, can't get it. They don't have anything over here to do it with, so they're not going to do a merchant phase. Which I feel like, I guess maybe they're just not supposed to be because they're biffing on that every time. I think they're still crushing though, so I'm sure they're okay with it. Add another card. All right, and then for our solstice, we have to discard a card, which I don't think I've looked at them yet, so. Oracle is a free play. Well, that's draw 2 cards, discard one of them. So yeah, we'll keep that. Maybe we should finally start playing these trade routes. Conquer, I can't use Conquer. So we will discard Conquer, and then we will get a resource. A pink thing. Again, I think they're resources. I don't remember. Okay, Oracle is a free play. So I'm going to draw 2 cards and then discard one of them. So one of these specifically. Passive, increase your hand size by 1. If you have 0 cards at the end of at the beginning of your cleanup step, gain. Okay. I should have just stopped reading after increase your hand size by 1, because yeah, so we're going to get rid of this. And then for our first action, we are going to play advanced mathematics. So our hand size is now 6. And then let's go ahead. Okay. See what you're doing. I see what you're doing, kind of. Pay 2 to acquire, yup, with like on it, or add 1 to a card in the market, and all players may gain 2. Solstice, abandon a card or discard a card. I don't like that. So let's go ahead and play a trade route as our second action. Now, when you play a trade route, you get its commerce ability. So its commerce ability says, choose, acquire an uncivilized or draw a card from your discard pile. I kind of like Conquer, but I can't play Conquer. Certainly not with that attitude. So we're just going to acquire an uncivilized. And there's only 1 to acquire. So we're going to grab this guy. Replace it with a city. All right. And then when we acquired that, we are going to exhaust our rock cut architecture. Exhaust this card to get a trade good. And we also have to discard a card. We're going to discard the card we just got. Okay, and 1 action remaining. We're going to go ahead and play Sarthavaha? I don't. I'm so sorry. Okay, this one we can exhaust and pay a trade good to trade. And the trade action is how we basically do this again to use the commerce action again. And then it also has a profitability. So once it gets 3 trade goods on it, you can do the profitability for an action. And this one is find any card except in the nation deck and free play it. So that's certainly not terrible. Okay, so those were our 3 actions. Let's go ahead and exhaust this. We are going to pay a trade good to use this, and we are going to acquire this city. a trading post that came out. Okay. Now we technically could trade again if we wanted to acquire that trading post. But if I acquire the trading post, that'll make the Andes Highway. So this is a trading the trading post or the trade routes, whatever they're called. There's one underneath all three of these decks. That's part of the setup with when you're playing with that module expansion thing. And the rest of them, which I don't remember how many, it's not many, like 3 to 5 are shuffled into the main deck. So if I were to get this is going to come down here and then they will get it, which I kind of want to prevent them from playing, but I want to prevent them from using that merchant turn for anything. So I do believe we are going to go ahead and just call that our turn. So we do need to put out our trade good. We are going to put it on the trading post because I think I'll probably get that next turn, or at least try to. And then we are going to grab our action tokens. We are going to grab our exhaust tokens. And we are going to discard Oracle and anything else that we want to. Which, how many cards are in my draw deck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am going to discard everything and draw these. Ooh, my hand size is 6. I guess I didn't have to discard anything with the solstice, but we will. And then we'll go ahead and grab that, exhaust this. So the next card I grab is Glory, which is how I'm going to actually score points and get fame cards. But it also is going to make me an Empire, which means any card I have with this symbol here, I can no longer play after that once that card enters my deck. So I'm going to want to just be careful with that. There are ways to break that. There are cards that break that rule. And I also need to try to find some cards that can put cards in history so that if I can't play those cards, I can get them out of my deck. That's the plan, anyway. So we do have an increased hand size because of our advanced mathematics. So we will grab another card. Cool. That's us. Let's see what the bots got going on. Man, they really don't want us to play that card. All right. This is an other. Acquire tributary if you are able. They're not. Discard the top card of the bot deck and gain. Yep. Okay. So they're going to discard this. They are going to get 2 resources and a population. I may draw a card. Might as well. Oracle. Okay. All right. This guy. Spend 2 to discard the top card of the Dynasty deck. Yikes. Okay. Dynasty deck. Discarded. Clans. Spend 2 to discard the top of the Dynasty deck. They can't, so they are going to get another population. And acquire a tributary if possible. It's not, so they're going to discard the top card of the bot deck, gain 2 resources and a population. Their engine's certainly working. I may draw a card. Yep, might as well. Okay, they still can't do any type of merchant action, so they are going to throw this up there, put these 2 cards out, and then have to shuffle. Doop, doop, doo. Doopy doop, doop, doop. Honk, honk. Okay. All right. Oh, Solstice. So I need to discard a card. I can't currently play Mercenaries. We will. I might be able to play Mercenaries next turn, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. No. We'll let it go through again. Okay. Nope, we're going to keep Mercenaries. And we are going to get rid of that trade route. Okay, so when we discard that card, we can either get a resource or we can spend 2 resources for a trade good. Or a card. We are going to draw a card. Cool. We drew a card. Go us. Okay, we are then going to free play Oracle, which is draw 2 cards, discard 1 of them. Choose 1 per you have in play, or acquire If it has gain 4. Yeah, we're going to discard the Unrest because I'm not mad at this Hunters and Trackers. And it certainly seems like I'm only going to be able to play it once. All right, I do want to get this Ayurveda card out. The solstice on this one is just get a population. If I'm still a barbarian, I have to discard a card. I'm about to not be a barbarian, so I can play it currently, and then when I become an empire, it doesn't go away, but I also don't have to do the bad part of the solstice, so that seems pretty neat. We are then going to play Hunters and Trackers. Okay, we're going to gain, we can either gain 1 trade good per this little symbol here, which is like a little paw print symbol, or you can acquire a region, and if it has the paw print symbol on it, gain 4 resources. I'm not going to gain the 4 resources, but I'm going to gain this region that has cool stuff on it. Yeah, look, it's a tributary. They can finally take that action that they keep trying to take and failing at. Okay, last chance to play Conquer. Yeah, last chance to play Conquer. I'd have to spend victory points to play it. So I don't think I'm going to. So let's go ahead. I'm going to keep prosperity. We're going to go ahead and just play another. Move these over. Play another region here. So that's going to gain us a victory point. And exile a card from the market. Yeah, let's just get rid of this. It's worth 3 points. And this one's worth 5. Cool. For them. For us, it's worth 1 for every 5 population we have. We have 0. So that's not great for us. It's fantastic for them. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put this in our stack O regions. Okay, that is all of our actions. Now we have some exhaust that we can do. So let's go ahead and exhaust our merchants and spend a trade good to acquire. Nope. We're going to exhaust this to spend a trade good to then trade. And that's going to allow us to acquire this trading post into our hand. That's going to bring down the Andes Highway. Then we are going to exhaust our merchants to acquire the Andes Highway and exile a card from the market. We're going to exile that 5 point for them region. Oh, this technically would go over here first. It's a trading city. So now that that pile is empty up there, everything is coming from that main deck. Okay. Well, I am back to having some unrest here. 3 in my hand, and I see 1 in my discard pile. Okay. Oh, I just acquired and or broke through for a uncivilized. So I'm going to exhaust this card, discard a card to gain a trade good. Let's discard. It doesn't matter. I think I'm going to discard all of these. No, I'm going to keep prosperity. Man. I'm feeling another get rid of unrest turn, which is sad because there's one right there that I discarded. I should have kept that, but I didn't know I was going to get so many. We're going to just discard all of them to get that trade good that we already got. I think we're going to keep. There's 3 cards left in here. All right, screw it. We're just going to discard everything. Okay, so we are then going to add the trade good to. Let's do the valley. That's for our end of turn thing. Grab our action tokens back. Grab our exhaust tokens back. Okay, and then we need to draw 6. We can only draw 3, so we are going to add glory to our discard. When we do that, we are officially an empire. We are no longer barbarians, so all those cards like this, which these should be in here, I cannot play. So I need to be on the lookout for some cards that let me put things into history. Or when I play these cards, garrison those cards. So that's one of the things that I'll do, that part of garrisoning, but I don't really know when else people are using garrison besides that, or if there's a reason to do it. I'm not sure. Like I said, let me know. All right, we'll draw our 3 more cards. So now the next time, which I think technically this, I think this gets one on it. It's a different stack technically, but it's that part of the action. But the next time we do that, we can look through those cards and buy one for the cost that's on the bottom there. And then, yeah, we are working towards endgame if we buy all those cards. Not really trying to get to endgame, because at this point, I don't think I'm winning. So, okay. Finally going to get to see what this is. Oh, it's their glory card. Abandon 3 and get the top fame card. Yeah, so they have 3, so they're going to abandon. Abandon just means discard from in play into your discard pile. And then they are going to gain a fame card. So yeah, they're definitely winning. Advance, they're going to spend 4, if they can, to break through for warehouse. Okay. Hey, and they have a victory point. So they break through, which means this stays there. Okay. Golden Mask, I think that's going to be the other. Yep, so they are going to acquire this. Yeah, they're getting like so many points on their turn, and we're like also playing, well, me, you guys don't. I'm not going to blame you. I might. They're going to spend, they're going to spend 2 to discard the top card of the Dynasty deck. Yikes. They need to start not doing that. Okay. This is their card. It's face up, and it's got a little dot down here. So when this card enters their deck, they will become an empire. And again, we'll flip this, and it'll be different bot actions. Some of them are the same and close to the same. Okay, for the first time, they can do a merchant action, because they do have a victory point, which they will trade in for a trade good. On their next turn, unless I put a third one on here, they will take this, which for them, there's a whole chart about what they do for all of the trade route cards. So I'll probably want to make sure I take that, just so they can't, and then they'll be back to not doing a trade route action. All right, so we're going to put their victory point right there. And we'll get some of their cards out. All right, on our turn, we have a solstice down here of gain a population. And we don't have to do the negative because we are not barbarians. A solstice here of discard a card. I can't play advance. Yeah, so I'm going to discard advance. And then we are going to get a resource with that. I don't think we need a card. All right. We're going to go ahead and with our first action, we're going to play Scrubland. You may garrison a card. So I could have garrisoned in advance, but this is one I'm going to, once I get glory, I'm going to be taking that one right back. During the solstice, draw a card if able. Place a card on top of your deck. I'm not really sure why that one says if able. It's one of the only times I've seen if able. So that makes me wonder if my deck's empty, I must not be able to trigger the purchase phase or the development phase, which makes sense, I guess. Okay, that's all this does. We're going to keep this on top, but I'll move it down here. Okay, I have 2 actions left. I don't like that solstice thing. Oh, I basically have 2 different I'm going to move my merchant's card over here just to give myself a little bit of room. I'm about to get tokens, just in case that wasn't clear. It probably wasn't, but I'm going to get some tokens. All right, so we're going to play Height of Civilization. Choose, draw 3 cards. No, thank you. Gain 2 resources per little bag symbol, or gain 2 population per region card, or gain 1 trade good and 1 victory point per handshakey symbol. These are all technical terms, of course. And then this goes to my history. So for that one, we are going to take the 2 population per card. So I've got 5 cards. I'm going to get 10 population. We'll take a 5, and we'll just take 2 5s. And then we are going to play Prosperity, which is basically a kind of a dumbed down version of that, a not as good of a version, but this does go to the history, and Prosperity doesn't. So Prosperity, we can get 1 resource per little baggy simple thing, or 1 population per card, and we are going to take the resources. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 resources, because I have 6 of those. This little symbol here, 2 of them on a scrubland. Cool. Okay. Neat. So those are all the actions here. And by the way, you don't have to take all your actions before you do the exhaust. And in many cases, you shouldn't do that. That just seems to be how I'm doing it. Okay. Do I want Trading City? I mean, I guess I also could get couriers. Oh, that increases my hand size. It does other stuff too, but I don't really care. All right, so we're going to merchants so that we can trade. Oh, no, wait, this only gets me uncivilized. Oh, well. So we are going to trade, and then I guess we will take Trading City. We will acquire that. It gets replaced immediately by some terraces. And then we are going to exhaust this and discard a card to get a trade good. We'll discard that one. I might keep these unrest. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's going to do it for us. I'm just going to go ahead and discard all those. We're going to put our prosperity back into the discard pile and get all of our exhaust tokens back into our exhaust pile, and then draw 6 cards. Get a lot of cards in here now. Man, should have kept those unrest, apparently. Okay. Cool. That's us. We have to... Did I put out my trade good? I don't think I put out my trade good at the end of my turn. So I'm going to put out trade good. I don't want them exiling any of these regions, so I'm going to put it on that. 1. Unrest. All right. This is an other. They can't acquire. So they're going to discard the top of their bot deck. I'm going to get to draw a card. They're going to get 2 resources in a population. All right. Warehouse. Resolve the top card of the bot deck. Put this into history. So this goes into history. Top card of the bot deck is this guy. He's going to spend 2 to discard the top of the Dynasty deck. So they are officially an empire, which I believe means this flips immediately, even though we're mid their turn. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think I am. This is their fame card. Fantastic. We have a new side here. So resolve the top card of the Dynasty deck. Put this in history. If it were on this side, resolve the top card of the bot deck, resolve the top card of the Dynasty deck, and put this in history. Oh, okay. So I guess this is better. Resolve the top card of the Dynasty deck. This goes into history. The Dynasty deck is Shogun. He is not listed. Sorry, I got to read through this. Okay, so it's this one. Spend 1 victory point to break through. They can't. And if unable, discard the top card of the bot deck. Put this into history. So that goes into history. Discard the bot deck. Yikes. Okay. They cannot take a trade good action. They have a trade good, but this is full. It can only hold 3. The profit action, I'm pretty sure it can only be taken by the person who has it, because that's a bonus for me, and then I would get all these and it would go back to my discard pile. So they're going to throw this in there, and they're going to bring out 3 cards, and then they need another one. They just got so many cards from their development deck. They've only got 3 left. Ooh, boy. I am playing poorly, I think is how they call that. All right, here we go. Put that out there. We are up. Solstice phase. So we have a couple different solstices here. This one is draw a card if able, place a card on the top of your deck. Okay, so we're going to do that first. You get to choose what order you want to do your solstice. I'm going to go ahead and do this one before I forget, which is just get a population. So drew a card. I can put one on top of my deck. Doesn't super matter what it is, because I am going to discard a card to then just draw that card. Anyway, using this solstice. That is all my solstice. So now we have like a turn to play, I guess. All right, we are going to free play mercenaries. So I can pay 1 population to gain an action. So I'm going to get myself another action token here temporarily. So I have 4 actions this turn. Let's see if we can make them work for us here a little bit. Okay. I can't play Conquer. So let's go ahead and let's play the Andes Highway. So this is 1. You get to trigger it, so I'm going to gain 2 population and a victory point. And I'm going to trade these in for a 5-er. Okay. And then I'm going to exhaust this, pay a trade good to trade, and we're going to go ahead and get 2 population and a victory point. Okay. We're going to glory, but I want to see what else I can do first. Let's just go ahead and glory. All right, so I abandoned 3 regions. Look at the top 2 cards of the Fate deck. Take one of those and put the other one back on the top here. So I am going to get rid of Scrubland. We're going to get rid of... I might just get rid of them in order. So these have been abandoned. Let's look at the top 2 cards here. We've got Determined and Welcoming. So Determined is worth 1 victory point per garrisoned card in regions. You can break through for a region. You may garrison a card in a region with no other garrison cards to trigger that card's play effect. Again, I'm not great at garrisoning things, so probably not that one. Welcome is a trade route. Commerce, gain 1 action. The owner of this card may draw a card. Yeah, we're going to take Welcoming. They're both worth 5 points to the bot. This one's a guaranteed 5 points for me. So I think that was the right decision for the way I play anyway. Okay, so that was Glory. Mercenaries is going to be discarded here. I think we're going to play Welcoming. We're going to play Welcoming, which costs us an action, but it gets us an action, so I'm just going to take it back. The owner of this card may draw a card. I shall. It's Oracle that I cannot use. Okay. Let's go ahead then as an action. We're going to play a city down here. I have 1 action left. And I have another trade route. I don't really want to play it, but I might as well start getting some of these cards out of my hand. So we're going to play a trade route. This is going to allow us to either gain 4 resources or acquire a tributary. There aren't any tributaries, so I'm going to gain 5 resources. We'll grab a 5 and we'll put 1 back. Because math reasons. Okay. We still have our merchants. These are just going to most likely get discarded. Oh boy. Yeah, let's merchants, and then I guess I think we're going to do the Andes Highway again, which is going to get us 2 more population and another victory point. We'll do that. Don't want to exhaust that. Cool. These are all going to get discarded. We are going to put our trade good on that region, and we are going to grab these back and go back down to 3. Grab that, grab that. Okay, and then we're going to draw 6. We can only draw 3, so we're going to leaf through here and see which ones we want. We need victory points, but all right, this one cannot be played unless Sri Gupta is in your history, which it is. That's one of the, I think, 2 cards that I put in my history. Breakthrough for a trade route or a civilized. Put this card into your history. All right, I kind of like that. It's only 2 victory points. But then the next one, you score 1 victory point per civilized that you have. So, yeah, we'll gain that one. It costs 1 trade good, 2 resources, and 1 population. So add that in here, and then we'll shuffle up. Got to add glory in this back. The rest of these stay out. There's way too many cards in my deck right now. Way too many. Oh, and then this gets a exhaust on it. Okay. I am fairly confident I'm getting rocked, but I'm having a good time. This game's fun. All right, 3 cards. All right, and then for the bad guys, and by that I mean the bot, not Japanese folks. Prosperity. All right, spend all resources to gain the same number of victory points. Spend all per population to gain the same number of resources. All right, so you do these in order. So that's 7 resources, which means they get 7 victory points. Bit of a yikes. Okay. Spend all population to gain the same number of resources. They have no population. Return an unrest card from the bot discard. They don't have any. If unable, get a trade good. That was good for them. All right. Malayu Kingdom. Is this the same thing? Yeah. Okay. So you can't do the first part. We can't do the second part. So it's just going to be a trade good. Tendai Buddhism. Okay, resolve the top card of the bot deck. Put this into history. Bot deck is clans. Add 1 trade good to the market card in the die slot. Okay, it's going to be 1. Gain 1 population. Okay. Put this card in history. Okay. All right, this is just going to play it. And then exile a card from the market. Oops, this is where I was playing their stuff. That's fine. We'll scooch over. And then gain 2 resources. So they're going to gain 2 resources. There's only 1 card they can exile because there are tokens on the rest. Okay. Cool. That is them. They're going to add a token onto a 1, and they're going to do their trade good action. Now, trade good action still remains the same. They're going to acquire a trade route if they're able. They can't. They're going to pay 5 trade goods, to gain a fame card and then switch to a merchant empire. They can't. They're going to resolve all profits where available, but I don't believe they resolve my profits. And then they're going to trade if able. So yes, they resolve all profits that they have, which currently is none. So they're going to trade with this priority. So they're going to trade with the trade route that has the most trade goods, but fewer than 3. So that is the Andes Highway. So they are going to use the Andes Highway. And then we go over here. That means they get 2 resources and a victory point. I'm sorry, 2 production and a victory point. So again, the bot flows relatively well once you kind of know how to use it. Not that I do, obviously. I just had to look something up. Okay, and then they're going to add some cards. That was them. So I can now take some profit actions over here. You cannot play any of these 3 cards. Neat. So we are going to discard a card to draw a card. We are going to discard a card to draw a card. We are going to get our population. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay. Well, we are going to play Scrubland for 1 action. We are going, I think we're going to do, we need to get some fame. So we are going to use an exhaust token. Am I? No. We are going to use an exhaust. Yeah, okay, we'll do it this way. We're going to use an exhaust token, pay a trade good to trade No, I don't think I want to do that. We're not going to do that. We are just going to take an action to do the profitability here. Place a card on the top of your deck and take a fame card and exile this card. So we are going to put Conquer on the top of my deck. Okay. And then when you do the profit, these come back. This would normally go to my discard pile, but it specifically said to exile it. So it gets exiled. And then we get that fame card that I didn't really... Oh, wait, that's not a fame card. That's Glacier. That fame card that I didn't super want. But we're just going to have to start garrisoning cards now. And we're going to have to do that at a later time because we are going to play Glory, abandon these 3 to look at the top 2 and pick 1. Okay, so we have Canny, acquire up to 2 exiled cards. Remember that when you acquire anything other than a region, you have to take an unrest, and then this goes into my history. That's civilized, uncivilized, regions, and tributaries. Or influential, free play. Choose, draw 2 cards, or free play a card, and you can ignore the little rule for the barbarian empire thing. We're going to go Canny. It's more points, and I can probably use it for neater stuff. Okay, and then we are going to exhaust our merchants to trade on something, probably. We're going to put 1 on welcoming. That's going to get me another action. We're going to use that action to play Canny. So we're going to acquire 2 exiled cards. I probably should have looked at these first. Terraces isn't terrible for points. Altar's not terrible for points. Yeah, we're going to take terraces and altar. So those are acquired, which does mean I get 2 unrest with them. The rest of these can go out. Canny goes into my history. I'm then going to use an exhaust to discard a card and get a trade good. I have a lot of unrest. Let's discard altar. Can't use it anyway. Okay. Let's exhaust this to pay a trade good, to use to take a trade action. We're going to use welcoming again, and we're going to get another action. And we're going to use Chandra Gupta. This is the development card that I got. Cannot be played unless Sri Gupta is in your history. It is breakthrough for either a civilized card or a trade route card. Put this in your history. I'm going to go ahead and break through for this courier's card. This then goes into my history. Another card comes out there. Okay, I think that's all the fun I can have this turn. Unfortunately, there's not another way. I want to play couriers because it gets my hand size another one bigger. And I should probably do something about these unrest cards. Oh boy. I don't want this. I don't want this. I do want those. Boy. Yeah, no. Yeah, we're going to discard the unrest and then draw 4. 2 of those were unrest. Yikes. Okay. So we are going to get our actions back here. Glory is going to go to the discard pile. Going to take all of our exhaust tokens back. We are going to put a trade good on. We're going to go there and really hope that I can get that somehow next turn. I'm not sure if I have a way. I do. I do. Okay. All right. Oh boy. Did not need them rolling a 6 right now. All right. They're going to spend all of their resources to get victory points. So that's 2. Just get them another 5. Actually, we'll just get them a 10. Then they're going to spend all of their population on resources. So 3 to 3. Then they're going to return an unrest from the discard. They can't, so they're going to get a trade good. Okay. They're going to just play this. That's going to get them 2 resources. And they're going to exile a card. They will exile this one. All right. They're going to add 1. Oh, they can't do that. They would add 1 to where they rolled the die, but they can't add 1 to a 6. They're going to gain a population. They're going to put this card into history. Advance. Same thing they just did. And glory. They can't abandon 3. They only have 2. So they're going to break through. Oh no. They're going to break through for a region. And this region is worth the most victory points. What a bunch of jerks. Okay. All right. For their trade action, they can spend 5 to gain a fame card. Ooh, boy. So they're going to spend 5 trade goods to gain the top fame card, and then they become a merchant empire, which is this card flipped over. Okay, there are 2 fame cards left. Oh, another trigger, if someone gets this Cane of Canes card, that also triggers the end game. So we're getting close to end game, which isn't good for me. Okay, they are going to. They don't put a token out because they rolled a 6. They did their trade good. So we're good. It's us, Solstice. I discard a card. I will discard Conquer and draw a card. And then I may discard a card. I'm not going to. Solstice, I'm going to get a population. I should probably clean this up. I'm going to get rid of 5 and a 5 to get 10. Okay. Okay, I want to start garrisoning cards. I can say words. We're going to play Couriers, though. Couriers is going to get us another increase to our hand size. So we are now drawing 7. All right, we're going to then play the Alluvial Plain. It's a region, and we'll garrison Trading City underneath it. So when you garrison, you're supposed to tuck it like that to conserve space. I'm just going to tuck it right underneath it. That gets us a victory point. I have 1 action left. I am going to exhaust this, pay a trade good to go here. That'll get me 2 actions. With the first one, I'm going to play that Determined, and that is going to allow me to break through. We'll go for, we're going to go for the River Delta, because I know this is going to be another region. And then I have 1 action left because I didn't grab another token. With that 1 action left, I'm going to bounce an Unrest for a population. I should probably start doing that more frequently. Okay. And then we are going to exhaust our merchants. Let's go ahead and... I don't really need 4 more resources. I think I'm going to do it anyway. We'll get 4 resources. I'll just turn this one in for a 5. All right, our hand size is now 7. What do we have in the draw deck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7. So with the Solstice, I will be able to do that again. So we're just going to discard both. Draw all 7. We're going to put our trade good out. We're going Valley. I like that more than Glacier. Grab our actions back. This one. Yeah, it goes back there. Okay. That is us. My goodness. Not great. Okay. Okay, 6 again. Yeah, why not? All right. This is Fame. Resolve the top card of the Dynasty deck. Put this card into the history. Dynasty deck is this. Resolve the top card of the bot deck. Put this card into history. Gotta love bonus actions on top of bonus actions. This is just an other, so they're gonna spend 5 of these to get 5 points, but then they're gonna spend their 2 population to get 2 of these back. Get them their 5 points. Then they're gonna return Unrest from the bot. They can't, so they will get a trade good. This they're just going to play. They will exile imports and gain 2 resources. Okay. This they are going to gain 2 resources. Yeah, their engine's working quite well. And they're going to exile a card. Okay. Why wouldn't you? Okay, so they're going to, all those resources they just got, of which there are 6, are going to turn into 6 points. There's 5. There's 6. Oh, and then they're going to get a trade good because they needed that. Okay, this one. Yeah, resolve the top card of the bot deck. Put this into history. Spend 1 victory point to break through for a civilized. So they're going to spend a victory point to get 5. It seems like a good deal for them. And then they're going to put this into history. That's going to come down. Cool. So now they are merchant empires. So we have to look at this column instead. But the first one on there is still, if able, acquire a trade route. Well, one just became available. So they will acquire that trade route. They have 1 card left in their deck. They have 2 left in their nation development deck thing. Yikes. Solstice. You may draw a card if able. If you do, place a card on top of your deck. All right, so first we're going to discard a card to draw a card. And we might as well discard Oracle. So we discard that. We can't draw. So we're going to go ahead and just get this one here, which costs 2 resources, 2 trade goods, or 1 trade good, 2 resources, 2 population. There's the trade good. There's the 2 population. Here's 5. Okay. I think I'm getting rocked. But again, still pretty fun. And if I've played the Guptas before, it was last year at some point. So I don't really remember how they worked. And I don't remember playing the Japanese bot. But man, it's doing good. It's doing real good. Draw that card. It's a card we can't use. Cool. Okay. Well, we're going to free play mercenaries. Oh boy, gotta make change again. To pay a population to get an action. So we have 4 actions this turn. All right, look at the top cards of the main deck and free play one of them. Put this card into history. That doesn't seem terrible. All right, for an action, we are going to do that. So welcoming, we're going to do its profit action. So I'm just going to put this on mercenaries here. This is going to go into history, but I look at the top 5 cards of the main deck. It did say main deck, right? Yep, and then I free play one. None of these are worth a whole bunch of victory points. So this might be silly, but I'm going to free play Bogs. And then I assume these get shuffled back in. So that is going to gain me 2 resources. Oh, I may garrison a card there, but I'm not going to worry about that because I'm going to be playing Glory and having to abandon all those. Okay, so that was my first action. Second action, I'm going to get 2 more resources and play. I'm just going to put all the actions on here and play the Indus River Valley. Third action, We are going to do the profit action on the Cornwall Tin Road, which is go find a card and free play it. I'm going to go find Glory. Would have drawn it next turn, but whatever. And then free play it. Tuck that under Mercenaries. And then we're going to abandon all these. And we're going to go look at these last two fame cards. All right, this one's a free play. Exhaust when you acquire a card. You can do a thing. This one is 11 points, but you can't play it, you can't discard it, and you can't garrison it. So you need a way to get it into your history. But it's 11 points. And at this stage, I'm just going to take it. My hand size is 11 anyway, so I can leave this just kind of sitting there. Okay. And then I'm going to discard 2 cards to play an Unrest to get rid of that. Okay. So these 2 I'm going to discard. I have to keep the other one. And then we're going to draw 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, did I want to do anything else? Oh, I forgot my... I'm not sure if I got my population or not. It's fine. Merchants. I can get 4 resources, or I can acquire these guys. Yeah, okay. So I'll acquire these guys. Oh, I technically should have done that before I drew my 6 cards. So these last 2, I don't have back. I'll keep the Unrest. Okay. That's me. Oh, I gotta put this out. We're gonna put it there. 5. Hey, they're only gonna have to play. They only get to play 4. Unrest. That actually helps me quite a bit. All right, this is a trade route. They just play it and then they trigger it. So let's move their tokens this way a little bit, I guess. All right, so the Nile Corridor. For them, when they're resolve the top card of the bot deck. And that means they're going to play that. They're going to exile this. And they are going to get 2 resources. Okay. Gardening. Spend 1 to break through. Okay. You're going to spend a victory point to break through for a civilized, which is epic poetry. And then this goes into history. Gold Mask. That's a nothing. So they're gonna get 2 victory points from their 2 resources. They don't have any population. They don't have any unrest. They're going to get a trade good. Okay. As their trade good action, we got to look over here. They don't have any profits to resolve. They can spend 3 to acquire. So they'll spend 3, and then whichever one of these is worth more. They're both worth 1, so they just go left to right. So I'll get this guy. Whoops. This doesn't get 1. All right, and then that goes there. Slide to the left. Okay, they have 1 card left in their development section. So there's not many cards left in the main deck either. So we're about done. Okay, Solstice. I have 3 Unrest in my hand. I can't, this late in the game though. Well, I mean, we might as well discard the card I can't do anything else with and draw a card. And then we will, I could discard to draw another card. If I want. I don't think I want. So we're good. We will get a population. And then we've got, whoops, I never took these back. These go in here. I might just get rid of unrest. That seems silly, but 1 victory point for every 4 regions. Okay, we're gonna play this region, and we're going to garrison that underneath it. I can pay 2 population to trade. Sure, I'll pay 2 population. And let's go ahead and trade. This is I'm gonna take this. Okay. That was 1 action. Whoops. Breakthrough for including the exiled pile. Are there any ones in here? 1 victory point for every 10 cards. Just 3 victory points. 1 for every 10 resources. I don't know how many cards I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, I have 10 in play, so this might be worth more than 3. All right, we're going to spend an action to do this profitability, and we're going to break through for imports. So these will go away. This will go back in here. Okay. And okay, we are then going to play this, whatever this is, Empire. We're going to break through for a region. We're going to break through for the Rift Valley. You can free play something with the water symbol. This has the water symbol. We're going to go ahead and garrison a card here. We're going to garrison imports. And you may return an unrest. I have plenty of unrest to return. And then this goes into my history. Okay. All right. Exhaust. I don't need to trade. I don't think I need to take a merchant action. Oops. I might as well do this. Discard a card to gain a trade good. I don't really think I'm going to do anything with the trade good, but it's a free trade good, basically. So we'll do that. And then I'm going to regret this, but I'm just going to discard everything, I think. We're going to keep all this unrest, which is a terrible idea, but we're doing it. Take all that back and then draw up 7 cards. Okay. Put out a trade good. We're on the valley again. 2. All right. They're going to spend 1 to break through for a civilized. Nope. They're going to resolve the top card of the bot deck and put this in history. So I'm not sure why that had what it had underneath it. This goes in history. Resolve this. Prosperity. That's an other. So they're going to spend all their resources, don't have any. They're going to spend their that don't have any, don't have any of that. So they're just going to get a trade good. Okay. That's the best thing that happened to us for a while. Barter. Yeah, that's just an other as well, so just another trade good. There's all the top deck. Put the top card of the bot deck, put that in history. Glory. Yep. They're going to abandon 3 and get the top fame card. Okay, so now the next, either me or them, who gets a fame card, will get that Cane of Canes, and that'll trigger endgame. This is another other, so I'm just going to get another trade good. Okay, speaking of trade goods, they're going to spend 3 of those to acquire something. All right, that's worth 5 points. I think that's what they're going to acquire. Yeah. Cool. Then they're going to put this on there. Slide to the left. 1. Us for our solstice. Let's discard Oracle to draw a card. And we're going to keep the unrest. I have so much unrest. For our first action, we are going to break through for a tributary. Ooh, which we can. I didn't expect there to be one in there. Okay. And then you may acquire. So we would be able to acquire this. Sure. And then this card gets put into my history. So that was our first action. For our second, we are going to play this. And garrison something underneath it. And we have 1 action left. There's only 2 unrest cards up there, so I think I need to get rid of some unrest. So one of the ways you get rid of unrest is to discard cards. So I'm going to discard 2 unrest to get rid of an unrest. That is my third action. Oh, I did acquire, so I might as well do that to discard a card and get a trade good. The exhaust thing. And then that's me. I'm going to discard everything. These are going to come back. 1, 2, 3. So we will have a chance to buy probably our last development. 1 point for every 5 cards. I mean, I feel like that's going to be some points. So it costs a trade good, 2 resources, and 1 population. I need 4 cards. There's so many cards in this deck. Too many. Just like any other deck building game, you know, you're not trying to get the most cards, but it certainly seems like that's what I'm doing. All right, so I got to remind myself too what the King of Kings card gets you. Gain 3 victory points and develop for free, which is doing that. Okay. Speaking of which, that's exhausted. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Okay. Let's see what. Did I put a trade good out? I don't think I did. Screw it. We'll just keep putting them there. All right. 2. Unrest is going to go back. That's good news. This is going to be resolve the top card of the bot deck. Put this in history. That's going to be other, so they're just going to get a trade good out of that because they don't have any of the other types of goods. Intrepid, this is a fame card. Resolve the top card of the dynasty deck. Put this card into history. When they resolve this, spend 1 to break through. Okay, spend this. They're going to break through for this. Put this card into history. All right, so they've emptied their development deck. So after this round, there will be 1 more round. And then we will find out how bad we lost, which is pretty bad. other, this is just going to turn into a trade good. All right. The top thing on their priority list for their merchant action, though, is to acquire this. So they will acquire that. So another endgame, another endgame trigger. The main deck is now empty. So they will then put this out here. This will slide over. And this is our last turn. See if we can somehow get points. Certainly doesn't look like it. Solstice, we're going to discard a card to draw a card. We can gain 2 and place a card on the top of our deck. Or we have to abandon this card. So we're going to gain 2. And then we will put a card on top of our deck. And then we have 2. You may draw a card if able. If you do, put 1 on top. But you may discard a card to draw a card. We'll discard that to draw this. Okay. Okay. Well, we don't really have anything that's going to do a lot for us. We are getting 1 point, though, for every card we have garrisoned. So let's go ahead and play this for 1. And garrison a card underneath it. That'll get us a victory point from the card. Exile a card from the row. We'll exile this one, I think. Okay. Then we are going to... We're also getting 1 victory point for every one of those symbols. So I feel like, is it worth it to spend an action to go get that? It's got a victory point on it. Probably not. However, the Valley has 2 victory points on it. I think we're just going to play these last 2. And we're going to garrison stuff underneath both of them. Like so. So this is going to get us 2 resources. This is going to get us a population, exile a card from the market, and then exile another card from the market. These are the last 2 cards that are exilable. This one says exile a card from the market as well. Again, we can't. We will go ahead and put a trade good. I guess we'll spread the love, and we'll put it over there. That's... Oh, I guess I could have free played one of those. Yeah, I could have free played one, which I don't think would have changed anything. So these were my last 2 actions. If I take this one back, I have an action. Yeah, okay. So we will exhaust merchants to use theirs to free play this. When we free play this, I'm going to get Valley. That's 2 points. And then I will play the same card I did, and I'll just garrison this one this time. I think that netted me 2 more points. Okay, that is me. Let's see what they're doing. Probably a 6. Nope, 4. Hey. This they're just going to play and trigger. Baltic Amber Road. Breakthrough for a tributary and discard it. There aren't any, so haha, joke's on you. And then this one, spend 1 to break through for that. If unable, discard the top card of the bot deck, put this card into history. So nothing. Cool. And then they can't do this, so I think they're just going to play one of these, the Nile Corridor. They technically are supposed to do the Baltic, but that doesn't make any sense. Neither one of them do anything for them. So, yeah. They'll just spend 1, but it doesn't actually do anything. Oh, shucks. They had their first crap turn for the game. Okay, scoring in this is a bit of a chore. So I think I'm going to cut here. I'm going to do some scoring. And then when we come back, I'll give you the final score and let you know how badly I lost. So I'll be right back. All right, I am back and I have cards all over the place for the purposes of scoring. I break it down into categories, which makes it slightly easier. But I had a lot of cards on my deck. We did lose. I did lose. I don't know. Again, I don't know why I'm putting the blame on you, but not nearly as bad as I thought. So 112 for the bot, 109 for me. That's with negative 12 of unrest. So had I done a little bit better of getting rid of those unrest cards, we would have taken that down. But no, a 3-point loss for that, considering I really thought it was a lot more. I did have a lot of cards that actually scored me a decent amount, including a card that was 1 point for every 5 cards I had. So that was worth 8. I had 44 cards, I think. And yeah, a couple other cards that scored pretty well. But unfortunately, I never really focused that on this game that much. I really should. But I'm really trying to find neat combos. Never really found it with the Guptas. Not that it's their fault by any means, but that's why I think I felt like I was losing the whole time. But apparently, it was a lot closer than what I thought, which was good. But yeah, this one's really fun. I do suggest, if you're going to pick it up, though, Horizons I think is a good bang for your buck, just because the trade route's pretty fun. I mean, it adds a little length to the solo game. I think a little bit more to manage when you're doing solo, but it also gets you the most factions. But honestly, I mean, if you pick it up and like it, you're probably going to try to find the other ones as well. So, and if this theme isn't to your liking, I believe Captain's Chair, Star Trek Captain's Chair, I think, is basically kind of a retooling of this with the Star Trek theme on it. So, but yeah, this was really fun. I enjoyed this game quite a bit. This is one that I need to get to the table a lot more often, and I haven't even played all the factions yet, I don't think. Or if I have, no, I haven't. Some of them are weird. Like the Cultists I haven't played, the Martians I haven't played, even a couple of the ones from Legends that have their own kind of weird rules. I might have played the bot version of those, but I don't think I've actually played them myself. So anyway, that has been Imperium Horizons. Thanks for joining me. I'll catch you next time.